to episode 155 of the WaveBack Music Podcast. My name is Kris.
And I'm Matt.
And we're here to listen to the most spooky video game music there is. It's time once again for our annual Spooky Special, where we bring you a playlist of spooky video game music to enjoy on Halloween. We've got a killer list of terrifying tunes for you tonight, so strap yourselves in. Don't lose your nerve, because it's time for the 8th annual WaveBack Spooky Special.
Oh, boy.
It's not even 9 a.m. yet. How you doing, Matt?
Barely awake, Kris. How about you?
Living the dream, living the dream. 8th is the 8th time. My 8th spooky special. This is what your, it's got to be 3rd, 4th?
Oh, I think it's like my 5th.
Wow.
I've been here a while, man.
You have. The years keep coming.
Yeah.
And they don't stop coming.
Yep. That's what Smash Mouth said.
Yeah, I'm not. That's it. This show's terrifying enough without jumping into a Smash Mouth conversation.
It's also the anniversary for me. So when I started the show,
it is always fun to celebrate another Maddiversary.
Ah, I like what you did there.
So if you're new around here, the Spooky Special is a time of year where we gather together and basically play a bunch of spooky-related video game music in honor of Halloween, because there's lots of wonderful spooky video game music out there, and, well, we like spooky video game music. So we're gonna skip the pleasantries, and we're gonna get straight to work here.
Yep.
We've got a couple of requests from listeners. Most of the rest of this was just slapped together by me, and I'm pretty happy with what we got cooking here, I must say. Considering the time constraints, I have a bunch set aside earlier in the year to get started on, and this year I didn't.
Well, we've been busy with the other show and stuff, so
yeah, it's been a
getting that
pretty
off the
busy
ground
time of year. But here we are, and we're gonna kick things off with a request. This comes to us requested by Chronodin over on our Discord server. And this is Saberwolf from Killer Instinct Gold by Robin Beanland. Or Beanland. I don't know how you really say that, but I say Beanland. I like to think the man's a land of beans. I love Killer Instinct.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but I do know that I love Killer Instinct, and when he popped this one up, I was like, oh, this is a good one. I'm more familiar with the song from the Saberwolf song from the first Killer Instinct, but I played a ton of KI Gold on my N64, so this is a pretty cool one here. So, I haven't heard this in a long time. This is Saberwolf by Robin Beanland from Killer Instinct Gold. Enjoy. magnificent.
It really is. It wraps up so magnificently.
Oh, I love it. Killer Instinct Gold. I think the first one did it too, where the music would change when one of you was close to dying, and then you'd get to do either your finisher move or an ultra combo.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Humiliation or whatever. Oh, I loved Killer Instinct. I loved Killer Instinct. And KI Gold was so much fun.
I remember the first one. I believe I had the first one, and it was. That's back when I liked fighting games. I can't play them now. I don't have the patience for them, which is ironic because patience is the only virtue I possess. This song, however, is just so like it's kitschy in all the right ways. You know?
Oh my goodness, the laugh.
That little like low baritone laugh, but bass laugh is just fantastic.
And the howling, it's so
yeah. But
Chef kiss.
It gives me yeah, right. It gives me like Castlevania boss fight vibes, which is really great, Big fan of that.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to feel like fighting, you want to feel spooky. It ticks all the boxes. Does a great job. An excellent pick from Chronodin there.
Absolutely.
Nice work.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Next up. Oh, this one's fun. All right, so this is not a song from a spooky game, nor is it a song from a spooky level in a spooky game. However, I was playing this game, and my wife was doing other things around the house while I was playing this game, and she was like, wow, this music's really spooky. I was like, you know what? You're right, it is really spooky. Like, outside of context, this is some really cool spooky music. So this comes from a game called Dadish 3. I have been kind of sort of obsessed with these Dadish games for the last couple of weeks. I discovered the first one about a month ago, and I've now played through all three. They're just these delightfully hilarious platforming games, and they're on pretty much every platform, I think. They're wonderful, and this is actually from the water level, but taken out of context, it is some pretty good spooky music. And so this is World 5 Marfundo C by Tom Young from Dadish 3. Enjoy.
I don't know why that's so funny to me. I think it was because I envisioned my face, like looking at my face when it stopped, and I was like, wait, what? That was a really good song, and I was like really in the zone with it, and it just stops. It sucked that it stopped because I liked it. I liked it a lot. Let me compose myself here.
So I'm going to actually fade it out in the episode, but just so you listeners at home know, the song just stops for some reason.
Dead.
The track that I have just dead. Yeah, it just stops dead and runs into a wall. Good times.
Oh my goodness! All right, I thought it was really cool. I can absolutely see why your wife had said that's kind of spooky music. It's got that kind of like creeping characteristic quality about it. Mm-hmm. Those synthesizers, you know, and then the kind of walking bass and stuff. Really good. I dug it, and that's like super. Actually, that bass line later is doom doo 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 doo. That's pretty cool. Didn't expect that. I like. Yeah,
it's got a real good vibe to it. I love it. I was really enjoying these levels. Like each world has its own theme, and that just plays that song for every level. And I was really enjoying this world. Not just because the music's great too. The mechanics are really fun because the water just makes it seem like you're jumping in low gravity. So it doesn't play like a water level per se. It just plays like slower. I don't know. We're doing some really clever stuff with it. They're really clever games. But man, I was just really enjoying the groove of this music every time I was playing this game, and I thought it was great. I'm glad to be able to share a little Dadish with the world. If you have not played this game and you like weird dad joke humor, this is a game about a radish who is a dad, and all of his kids have run away or been stolen away, or no. The first game, they ran away. The second game, they showed up at your job for Take Your Kid to Work Day, which is not a thing, and then they all just kind of got lost. And then in the third game, they went on a field trip by getting on a spooky bus that they don't go to school because they're radishes. So, but they decide they got on a bus to go on a field trip, and they all got lost all over the place. It's fantastic. Every time you beat a level, you wind up talking to one of these little mini radishes, and they say just the most ridiculous things to you. Like one of them's in the desert. There's a desert world, and the kid's like, "I'm super thirsty. I've been eating nothing but sand for 3 days." And Dad's like, "But you've only been missing for 1." He's like, "Yeah, I was eating sand at home too."
That's fantastic.
And Dadish's reaction is just, "Oh no."
It's not good.
The whole game is that. It's wonderful. Wonderful game. Can't recommend it enough. And, well, there you go. That's Dadish 3 music. Good spooky music. I like it.
Gonna have to definitely look into that one.
All right, this one, they go on sale for super cheap too. This one wasn't specifically requested by anybody, but somebody in the Discord mentioned Infernax, and I can't remember who. But yes, Infernax is a magnificent game. One of my favorite games I've played this year. It is like kind of a weird take on Castlevania 2. It is extremely violent, has a wonderful sense of humor about itself.
Infernax. Yeah. I
Infernax.
love that game. Sorry.
Isn't it great? It's
oh my god,
so
it was
good.
so good. There's like 4 different endings depending on your choices.
Oh god,
It's
more
so
than 4.
It's so simple and yet so awesome and involving. Sorry.
Put in the Contra code and play through the game with a machine gun. Like, oh god.
It's ridiculous. It's like the gamer's game.
And they just released DLC for it.
No.
Or they are releasing DLC for it. That's
great.
You play as, I think they call him the Stranger. He's like a cross between Jason Voorhees and Ash Williams. You just go around with a shotgun and a baseball bat. And you're wearing a hockey mask. Like, yeah. Okay. Are you sure? I'll take an excuse to play through this game again. Done.
You had me at DLC.
So Infernax is a wonderfully gruesome, wonderful Halloween type game. This one is, let's see, I wrote down my notes here, just gotta open the right screen. This one is called The Dark Arts. It is from Infernax. It is by Jason Létourneau? Jason Létourneau? I apologize. Jules, Conroy, and Olivier Couillard. Those are the people that this soundtrack is attributed to. It is an awesome game with an awesome soundtrack, and this is an awesome song, so let's enjoy The Dark Arts. Dark Arts from Infernax.
You know, on a whole, that soundtrack is just so great.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to pick a tune. I just kind of like started clicking through the soundtrack. I was like, yep, this'll do.
Yeah, I mean, really.
I just want to play something from this game.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what, because they're all great.
Yeah, you really could have just, like, thrown a dart at a list, and every track on is so good. The game is so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
And like, I love the pixel art for it, like the close-up when they do, like, the cinematics and stuff.
Oh, yes.
It can be a gruesome game if you're not, into that, so...
Yeah, squeamish folks beware. It is 8-bit looking, but it is blood.
It's bloody. Yeah.
And the monster designs are so gross too.
I know.
Oh god, this game.
You get covered in it too when you kill like a boss and stuff.
Right, you did.
It's so funny.
Love it.
Side note: I unlocked the jetpack.
Yes,
it's just a ridiculous game.
God, the whole Game Genie thing.
Yeah, the Game Wizard.
Game Wizard, that's what they call it. It's God, even when you're entering the codes, it's just like the NES Game Genie. It's the attention to detail.
Yeah,
the love in this game was just magnificent. Go play Infernax, please, and all 3 Dadish games.
Yes.
And speaking of games you should play, if you haven't played it already, the next track is from Cuphead. I am a big fan of Cuphead. I think this game is great. I'll probably never beat it because I don't know that I have that kind of time and really to just be hammering away because I'm close to the end and it's just like I can do it. It just takes the practice. You know, I've got to do the stages over and over again to learn them and get the reflexes on cue and you know, every time I take a few months off from the game, I have to get back into like, all right, this is what the buttons do. This is how this game works. It's a magnificent game, though, and with such an amazing art style and really great music. And this comes from the Mausoleum, which I can't remember exactly where it is in the game, but the game has a lot to do with dealing with the devil and things like that. It's got a lot of that great old animation macabre style to it, and this is a wonderful song that is just right up the whole spooky vibe alley, but from a very different direction than we've tackled so far tonight. So tonight, it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
But who knows when you're listening to this?
That's true, and I'm going to assume it's night because it's Halloween and everything should be spooky and dark.
Agreed.
So here is from Cuphead by Kristofer Maddigan, spelled with a K, just like me. Not except I have a PH and an F, but still, nobody's perfect. This is the Mausoleum from Cuphead. Enjoy. There you go. That's the Mausoleum from Cuphead. How'd that one grab you?
With both hands. That's great. That's a great song. I don't know what I like more, like the timpani and the drumming, or the kind of the organ driving force. It was really, I mean, everything about that game, Cuphead, I think is very well put together. And even before it dropped, everyone was gushing over the art style.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, a soundtrack to accompany that has to be of a high caliber. That is nothing short of exactly that. That's a fantastic song.
Yeah, very spooky, dancy skeletons. It's very old animation spooky with the saw wave. Is that a saw or is that a theremin? I don't know.
I'm gonna say theremin.
Saw.
All right. I'm going theremin.
All right. Okay. Saw versus theremin to the death. I think I just think it's a wonderfully, delightfully spooky song, perfectly eerie for the time.
Absolutely.
Well then, let's keep going.
Yes, sir.
We're really blasting through these today, but that's okay. It's all about the music tonight. So tonight, this afternoon, tomorrow.
Yesterday.
Time has no meaning.
I think yesterday.
So this one I think is pretty funny. I kind of stumbled on this by accident when looking for the Mausoleum in my collection of soundtracks here. I was looking for the Mausoleum in my iTunes, and the word Mausoleum came up again. I was like, oh, right! Arms! So,
which sounds like a funny statement to make out loud if you're not familiar with the game.
There's a game called Arms, not I forgot about my arms. So there's this really fun Switch game called Arms. I thought the game was great. I had a blast with it. And what's it? The character Min Min made it into Smash Brothers. Arms is cool. I really hope Nintendo doesn't abandon this IP. I want to see them follow this up because it was a really great idea with some fantastic character designs. And one of the characters in the game is Master Mummy. So the thing with the game is that every character has these really long, springy, stretchy arms, and they did it so every character's kind of every character's thing their gimmick kind of centers around their ability to have these wacky arms. Like Min Min in Smash Brothers, her arms are ramen noodles. One's ramen noodles, one's a dragon. Spring Man's arms are springs. Ribbon Girls are ribbons. Master Mummy is, mummy
wrappings.
Mummy wrappings, like it's such a clever game with a really kicking soundtrack. So this is his stage, which is called Mausoleum. It's Master Mummy stage, and this is a pretty awesome song. So enjoy some great music from the great and underappreciated game ARMS. Mausoleum from ARMS by Atsuko Asahi and Yasuaki Iwata. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Atsuko Asahi and Yasuaki Iwata.
Yeah.
Apologies to them aside, I rather like that song. I like the whole ARMS soundtrack. I like ARMS in general. I think it's killer. But yeah, I had a blast listening to that one. I like all the little the kind of twangy, I guess almost Egyptian vibe to that guitar that's going the background, no, not the background, kind of in the foreground to that one sort of quiet part. And I think it's appropriately epic. It's got a real good groove to it. It's some nice mummy music. I like it.
I like that you use the term appropriately epic. I don't know why, but that really grabs me. And speaking of grabbing me, this song that opened up like, excuse me, it just came out of nowhere. Really good though, really really good. I liked it a lot. I like anything that kind of has electric guitars and strings, and like I liked how the electric guitar was essentially percussive to some extent, but the strings were really kind of the poignant part of the whole piece. And it's really good.
Yeah, it's a wonderful soundtrack, and really, it's a pretty cool game. They really want you to use the motion controls in it, and they never really grabbed me. But I got the hang of this game pretty good using just the controller and like the Pro Controller. And I think it's wonderful. Really, the character designs are absolutely killer in this game. So I'm sad it didn't take off quite as well as, like, say, Splatoon, but it did do pretty well for itself as a launch title on Switch, and dang it, this is a wonderful game. And speaking of wonderful games, we are going to take a trip back to Shovel Knight. This is Flowers of Antimony from Shovel Knight by Jake Kaufman. This is the Plague Knight stage, which is perfect for Halloween. Shovel Knight's got a just magnificent soundtrack, and this is one of the many magnificent songs in the game. So it's been way too long since I played Shovel Knight, and I never got around to playing Shovel Knight Dig. I really need to get around to that now that I'm done with Dadish. But podcast for another podcast. Here is Flowers of Antimony, or The Explodatorium from Shovel Knight by Jake Kaufman. Enjoy. Flowers of Antimony, or The Explodatorium from Shovel Knight by Jake Kaufman.
The Explodatorium is such a great name.
It's what I call my bathroom.
Whoa.
How's that for horror?
Wow.
Oh,
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, we're not going to top that.
Nope. But that being said, I really like that song. It takes me back to a lot of like the early NES games. You know, it makes me think again of like some of the Castlevanias. I have so many pixel games in my head, and I can't think of one of them. But this definitely is very like okay, well, Shovel Knight, right? Like on a whole, has just been a blockbuster, and everything about it is like true to its roots, you know. The soundtrack, this song particularly is no exception. So
yeah, I really like the part where it gets like kind of all the notes get really off key and it starts sounding like super manic. Like, I love that. I think this is a masterpiece of a song. It's just got such a cool groove to it. Very the rhythm of it, the cadence of it has that kind of very like classic spooky vibe to it. Like, I don't really know how else to explain it. It's just such a fun darn song to listen to. Just love it.
Yeah, man. I mean, you nailed it, really.
So next up we have another request. This comes to us by way of Matt Flamger. This is a great request that I'm kind of surprised I haven't done already. This is Castle and Fortress from Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island by Koji Kondo. The castle music in Mario games is typically relatively spooky. This one in particular has got a real good spooky vibe to it. I love this tune. So here it is, Castle and Fortress from Yoshi's Island. Enjoy. That was Castle and Fortress from Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Love that song.
Now that's some proper spooky castle music.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I love Yoshi's Island. I love all the love the castle. I love all the design in that game, really. I mean, the whole thing is just such an awesome looking game. Like, this was Cuphead before Cuphead, you know? You look at this game animating on the Super Nintendo and looking like a bunch of children's drawings come to life. It's just such a masterpiece. But man, thinking of, I can't hear this song and not hear all the sound effects that are connected to it. Like, God, I love this game to death. And just specifically the sound of those chomp balls rolling, like, yeah, and it's just such a cool, like, it's a very slow waltz. It's got the little ding noises going in the background, just kind of adding to this entire eerie atmosphere. It's a wonderful song.
I mean, there's something about a slow waltz that I think gets incorporated into all spooky music. Maybe just because it's old and it harkens back to, you know, like ghosts now. You know, like when ghost stories were told, they're all Victorian and they probably all waltzed. Now ghost stories are going to be like, he listened to disco and doo-wop, oh, you know. Is that a street lamp illuminating 4 guys snapping their fingers? Run! Sorry. Anyway, yeah, this is a great one. I like it because it's very minimalistic too. There's not a lot going on, not a ton of moving parts, but it's so very effective.
Yeah, very effective is definitely the right word for it. Wonderful, wonderful use of wordage there, sir. And Mr. Matt Flanger, not you. Thanks for recommending this song.
Yeah.
Hooray! All right, next one. Ooh, I like this one. This one also wasn't specifically from a spooky game, but it definitely is from a game that has a lot of unnerving elements to it. And this song made me think of like really good kind of horror-ish music, because it just kind of really encapsulates a lot of this game's unnerving tone. This is a song called Meat Grinder, and it is from the game Katana Zero. Soundtrack is credited to a LudoWic. This game blew my mind when I played it. This is such an awesome game, and it has a lot to do with I don't know, dreams and violence. It's like a thriller kind of game almost, I guess. It's very much, Twitch reactions, a side-scrolling action game, but it's very violent and it has some really creepy undertones to it. And this is a really cool, creepy song. So this is called Meat Grinder. It's from Katana Zero, and enjoy. right, that was Meat Grinder from Katana Zero. I'm curious how that one grabbed you.
You did not tell me that this soundtrack had a synthwave feel to it, and I am very upset at you.
I knew this would be right up your alley.
Absolutely. I love a good deep synthwave bass and kick combo, and this like delivers on that. It's a gorgeous piece of music, honestly. There's a lot of great like synthesizers and like techno stuff in this, but I mean, you know, the synthwave, the dark synthwave and stuff like that too. It's really, really good. This game's always been in my peripheral. Like, oh, I should really get to play in that. I think now that I know that the soundtrack's more like this, then I think it's gonna get bumped up to the top of the list very soon.
Oh, you'd love this game. It's hard but fair. It's not like Cuphead hard. It's like you can kind of keep trying with it, and in fact, the ability to keep trying is very quick. So it's, you know, failure has very little long-lasting consequences, at least in terms of making you frustrated enough to stop playing. Mm-hmm. The game's very good at making you continue playing. The story is nuts. It's such a compelling story. It's really, really, really cool to watch this whole thing play out.
Nice.
I loved this game so dang much. It really blew me away. So, Katana Zero goes on the list of... Boy, we're hitting up some good games tonight, huh? There's some really good stuff on here. So go out and play Katana Zero, Infernax, all three Dadish games, obviously Shovel Knight, and if you haven't played Killer Instinct or Yoshi's Island, definitely play those too. And Arms a good one. Cuphead, yeah.
There's still more show, Kris. Come on.
Yeah, we still got at least two more songs to get through. And let me see here. Where did I stick that? Meat Grinder is done. Next, we're on to another request. I think this is the last request of the show. So this is another request from Chronodin. And this is Graph Ruler of Darkness from Xenogears by Yasunori Mitsuda. I have not played more than, I don't know, a half an hour or so of Xenogears in my life. It's one of those games that I really want to like, and I'm sure if I had the time to properly put into it, I would. My trouble with it is I kept getting to spots where the random encounters were just way too brutal. As in, like, I would take 3 steps and I'm in another battle, and then I'd finish that one 3 more steps in another battle. It was constant, and I just couldn't get past it because I was getting nowhere, and the limited amount of time I had to move forward with it, it was just like, well, I made it about 14 feet and I've been playing for an hour, so it's time for me to stop playing now. But I really like the look of this game, and what I've heard of the soundtrack has also been really quite extraordinary. So I'm unfamiliar with this song. Thank you, Chronodin, for pointing us in that direction. And, well, let's give it a listen. Here's Graph, Emperor of Darkness from Xenogears. Enjoy. So that was Graf Emperor of Darkness from Xenogears, and wow, you can really hear that Chrono Trigger connection in this. Like, structurally speaking, it's so similar to Magus' theme, and it's got the big timpani drums. It's like, it sounds like a Chrono Trigger song coming out of a PlayStation. It's really quite a cool song.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't at first. I didn't put it together with the relation to Chrono Trigger in that, but I absolutely hear it. It's that thing where you're like listening to something you like, or you see something like, this is so familiar. Why is this so familiar? And there you have it. It's that first note that goes wonky. It goes. I was like, oh yeah. This is I could see why, and it just delivers the whole way through.
Yeah, it agreed. Delivers all the way through. So yeah, that was not one that I would have stumbled upon. I really should.
No,
really do want to give this one a proper go. I really hope they remake it someday with modern accoutrements, so that I can properly get through it. I know there's a PS1 RPGs, man. Like they jump out and say, you're gonna love this, and like Final Fantasy VII, Chrono Cross, and Xenogears, like never finished any of them because
nope.
they're just not quite there, you know. At least for me and my personal sensibilities, I'll finish them one of these days. Maybe when I retire.
From what?
From life.
That might be the only time.
All right, so this next one, I don't even remember. I love that I found this. This makes me so happy. I was trying to think of spooky games to play on here, and I was like, there were Beetlejuice games, weren't there?
Mm-hmm.
So this is this is the Game Boy version of Beetlejuice that was based off the cartoon series, not the TV show. The soundtrack is by David Wise, so it's pretty darn good. This one cracked me up, and I had to put it in here because what's the name of that song where they're at the table?
I don't know the actual name, but Deo, Lisa Deo.
Yeah. This like weirdly adapts that song, which is so wonderful.
It is called Deo! Exclamation point.
All right, there you go. I'm
Belafonte.
pretty sure that's the one that it does not jump in the line. I'm pretty sure it's adapting Deo, which is just. It's so weird that song and Jump in the Line will always have Halloween connotations to me because of Beetlejuice.
Yep.
Even though they're not spooky songs at all.
No.
But they kind of are by relation. So this is Netherworld from Beetlejuice for Game Boy that very cleverly adapts Deo without jumping into copyright territory. So well done, Mr. Wise. Enjoy.
This is one of those songs. It's not just Deo though. There's another song. There's another calypso type song that it's pointing at. And I cannot think of it. It's I go a. Amon.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. That's
Was that in Beetlejuice too?
No, because I just recently saw Beetlejuice actually. No, but it's. I mean, so I have to like high five for effort because the song is doing exactly what you're saying. It's
It's just dancing around. Daylight come and we want to go home.
Yeah.
It's got a different cadence. But it's playing the notes, but not quite. I freaking loved it.
It's like
I freaking love it.
It's like 4 songs, and he's just like, we're just gonna throw them in the pot, mix them up, we'll see what happens.
Magnificent. Yeah, that one cracked me up when I found it. It was like, that's the one there.
It's the one, my grandma, your grandma, sitting by the fire. That song. Oh, man. Yeah, that's funny. That's too funny. That's great, though. I mean, like, it's very Beetlejuicy, right? It is. It's very, it's very David Wisey. It really, I love his Game Boy work and his NES work. It's wonderful. I didn't know he did this one because it's not. I'm 90% sure this was him because it's not credited on most of his pages that I've found. But for this specific game, I couldn't find its credits, like a video of the credits running from this game. But I did everywhere I saw this song listed, it was being credited David Wise. So I'm like 90% sure it's him because it so sounds like his style. And it's super fun. It's super fun, weird take on that song. Yeah, he's really, really playful with a lot of his music. Like he can get that really kind of fun, I don't know, characteristic like quality. Get kind of like a groove, in there to get you kind of moving. It's good stuff.
Well, we got one left, and it's a good spooky one. We haven't covered this one, I think, in a year or two. I think we skipped it last year. But this is from The Messenger, one of my favorite games of this entire generation. I friggin' love this game, and its soundtrack absolutely rules. This is the 16-bit flavored version of the Howling Grotto theme, which is called Harnessing the Wind. This is kind of a haunted, spooky area in this game, and this song absolutely rules. It is by RainbowDragonEyes. This whole soundtrack is amazing. This game is amazing, and I think you're going to enjoy the heck out of this song if you haven't played this game before. And even if you have, you'll hear this and be like, oh yeah, this song is awesome. So here is Harnessing the Wind from The Messenger. Enjoy. That was Harnessing the Wind from The Messenger. I freaking love that song.
Holy cow. I like how the song starts, right before it really kind of composes itself and becomes the main melody. I love a song that has like it starts one way and then it introduces another instrument and it changes the way you bop your head, you tap your toe, and then the next thing comes and you're like, oh, I have no idea what's going on now, and then it all comes together and you're like, oh my god, this comes in with like such gusto, and I love it. It's a really, really good piece of music.
Yeah, it is freaking-nificent.
Yeah.
Love it.
Is the rest of the soundtrack this banging?
Oh my god, yes,
all right.
yes. I remember when did we play the last one, you had a similar reaction. It was
It's been a while, yeah.
let's see, we played the last one. Oh my goodness, that was Spooky Special 4. It's been a couple of years since we've listened to
and I still haven't played this game. What the hell's wrong with me? I'm gonna have to get on
it was
that.
Quill Shroom's Horrors was the one that we played from that, and you were blown away by that one.
Right.
And rightfully so, because it's a freaking amazing song. Yeah, this whole game's whole soundtrack is this good. It's just top tier, top to bottom, and the whole soundtrack is split into both, like, every song has both an 8 and 16-bit version, which I don't want to tell you why, because it's a really cool thing in
don't
the
tell
game.
Me. For those
that
of you that
across.
know, you know, and then for those that don't, play the game.
Yeah, this game's soundtrack is amazing. I freaking love this game. It starts off playing very Ninja Gaiden-y, and then eventually turns into a bit more exploratory Metroid-style thing.
Oh.
There were a lot of folks who didn't like that. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Okay.
So, yeah, the game's full of surprises and is a freaking masterpiece. One of my favorite games of this entire generation, and killer soundtrack, and I love that that's like really good, invigorating, cool, spooky music, right? It's got that haunting feeling to it, but it's also like really, really driving. It's a wonderful song.
I have to agree with you. I mean, sight unseen, so to speak. Yeah, definitely. Again, it's rightfully electronic in that way that I really enjoy. So,
and the game's also got a great sense of humor.
Oh, very appreciated.
Indeed. And that wraps it up for our Spooky Special for this year. The 2022 Spooky Special is behind us.
It is.
Well, mostly behind us. We still got one more to play out with, and I'll get to that in a minute. But how you feeling, Matt? You in the Halloween spirit? You ready for trick-or-treating?
Always. I dress up as me, and that's scary enough, and people throw candy at me as opposed to giving it to me. They just want me to go away. So I think I win Halloween.
Outstanding. Well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap this up. That is our show. Join us next time when we finally get around to a long overdue listener request. Our listener, Rob Metzger, has put together a playlist of songs from various shooters that he thinks we're all going to enjoy. And who are we to argue?
Nope.
We're nobody.
Not going to get any out of me.
Yeah, no arguments here. You want to make a playlist for us, and yeah, I'm in. I'm very excited about it. I have not listened to, I think, any of these tunes. So, yeah, we're going to get that all sussed out and finally get that done. I think he asked to do this, like, more than a year ago. So, thank you for your patience. So we here at the WaveBack Podcast are incredibly grateful to everyone who listens, and we love communicating with you when we can. We have a couple of ways you can do that. There's the Geekade Discord channel, in which we have a WaveBack chat where we frequently discuss all manner of stuff related to video game music, and whatever our next episodes are going to be. There is technically still a WaveBack Facebook page that I completely ignore all the time, so don't go there. Or you can still send us an email at mail@geekade.com, and while you're at it, check out all of our social media channels, which you should totally follow, like, and subscribe to if you haven't already. WaveBack and other Geekade podcasts are made possible thanks to the Geekade Patreon page. There, patrons can get early access to a monthly podcast topic, recording schedule, and early access to most of Geekade's shows, including this one and more. If you've enjoyed our podcast over the years, follow the link in the description and give it a look. We really appreciate it. And finally, as always, be sure to check out all the other great content we have on our site over at geekade.com. We are going to leave you tonight with, as promised, Cross Your Heart from Haunted Castle. I said in our last episode that I'd be using at least one song from this terrible game, and here it is. The music is actually pretty good across the board in Haunted Castle, even if the game itself is an utterly miserable experience. So we're going to leave it with you, so I don't have to talk about this game any longer than absolutely necessary. Yeah, it's called Cross Your Heart. It's a good tune. Enjoy, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.